How is it raising a boy in this day and age?
I think that right now raising a boy is the perfect opportunity for a lot of women, and especially women in general, but for a lot of Black women to help create a new generation of Black men. And I can't say that it's just a man thing because men have to be born from a woman.
Right.
So it's a shared responsibility in some aspects, a shared responsibility. And as you raise your child, but once they get grown, it's their responsibility.
So give me just an example of something you're doing to change the future of men. Welcome to the Pattern Disruption Podcast. Today I am sitting down with someone who has the personality, I would say, of a strong-willed, independent, people might say somewhat controlling.
Mm-hmm.
But I just want to say, Danisha, welcome to the Pattern Disruption Podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome to the show.
I appreciate the opportunity.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate you being here. I want to talk to you a little bit about, first off, tell the people who you are and what you do.
Okay. My name is Danisha, and I work at an investment bank in compliance. And basically, my job entails managing risk or risk compliance more so. And that's kind of what I do on a day in, day out basis is manage risk.
Managing risk. So in layman terms, that's financial.
Yes.
And you manage people's investments.
No, I manage the risk of the investment bank.
Okay, so what's your background as far as your education?
So I initially went to college at UT Chattanooga, and I got a bachelor's in criminal justice. And then I went to TSU and got a master's in criminal justice. And so after that, I kind of not really, I guess I would say, chose to go into retail banking, but that's kind of where I started. And so I did that for over 5 years, and then I transitioned from retail banking to investment banking.
Okay. Yeah, because that's totally different from criminal justice.
Definitely.
So was that because you couldn't get a job in criminal justice, or?
Yeah, and then I realized like some of the entry level jobs coming out of college were like being a correctional officer, and because I did my internship at a jail, I didn't think I was cut out for that type of work. It was a little, I would say, intimidating, a little scary,
being in
just a little bit, yeah. Because you're by yourself for the most part. I mean, I would have officers escort me sometimes, but for the most part, you're moving through the jail room by room because there's a control tower that opens every door, like once you get to the next one. So,
so you would have been like in level 4 or something like that?
No, I was in a lower level. Like these weren't very violent offenders. It's just I was assigned to do like GED classes, which would have been men and women. Okay. And because it was very like close interaction.
Right.
There wasn't anybody in there but me and the teacher I was assisting. So I just didn't think that work was cut out for me.
Would the money have been similar to what you make?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, we got
correctional officers are kind of like an entry, kind of like the bottom, I would say, of the criminal justice system, like as far as like salaries. And back then, no. Nowadays, it could be way more, but back then when I first got out of college, it was not anything lucrative to have.
Okay. So tell me a little about your upbringing. What brought you to want to be? So were you a good student coming up?
I would say I was a good student. I would say that coming into college was just a little bit difficult navigating like the general studies courses or like the kind of like the basic math courses.
I hated that too.
Yeah, I wasn't good at that, but I was good at English. I was good at writing, all those things. I just wasn't that good at math. So it was a little difficult, but I felt like I think I did decent in school. I can't say that I wasn't like I was a procrastinator, but I wasn't like a slacker. Yeah. Like when I got done, I felt like I did good work, but it just took me a while to get the work started, Okay, but I do feel like I was a good student, I must say. Now, I wasn't no 4.0. Let me just say that. But I think I was a decent student for the type of work I was doing.
Did you get scholarships?
No.
Okay.
I had to get student loans.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. So you did a bachelor's, master's,
Yes.
all on student loans. Do you
Yes.
still owe student loans?
Of course. You never get. I mean, I don't know anybody that's a millennial that doesn't really owe student loans. I mean, I think the thing is that the American dream that I feel like millennials were sold is to graduate from high school, go to college, get a degree, and then you get a job. But the reality is, by the time you get out of college, the jobs that you are applying for require experience. You don't necessarily have that because you were in college trying to get a degree.
Right.
So then you enter the job world, and even the entry level positions you're not qualified for because you lack experience, even though you have qualifications like degrees or certificates.
Yeah.
All those type of things.
Nobody
just don't
wants to be the first one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They want experience.
Yeah.
So then you end up getting like whatever you can take. And it kind of took us longer to get where we were wanting to go because there was limited. It feels like you were passed up for almost everything,
right?
Because you don't have any experience.
Okay. So, average student, but you did excel enough to get to college.
Right.
Went to college, graduated. You found your job in finance. Do you feel like being in finance has helped you with your personal finances better?
Yes and no.
Okay.
I feel like it's opened my eyes to see like what's possible as far as how to build your wealth, or at least sustain, and like how to go about having like a budget, but not necessarily. What I realized in working in the financial industry, even more so retail banking than now, is that people that are able to hold on to their money are very I'm trying to find the word. They're very intentional about how their money is going out. And you would think that because they have more, they spend more, but they don't. They really want to spend less. Like I remember working in retail banking, they wanted free checks, and they would have business accounts and stuff, but they want everything for free. All of those expenses are kind of like, why would I have to pay?
Right.
But as a client or a customer, you would need to pay for checks if you want to be able to write them.
Exactly.
But they're very intentional about how they spend out their money.
$30-$40 book of checks.
Yes.
They want that. If they got a few $100,000 working, they want to get that free.
For sure.
I get that.
Yeah,
and my grandmother used to tell me that. She used to tell me, let them say no.
Exactly.
Don't say no for them. You know what I'm saying? Ask.
Right.
So you said that helped, but it tells you kind of what is possible. Let me ask you this. Being in that market, do you see a lot of Black people investing?
No.
You don't?
Well, I wouldn't say that I would see a lot of Black people. I think the more correct thing is, is there representation there? I feel like it's a little representation, but not as much as it could be.
5, 10%, 20%?
I don't know. I couldn't answer that.
Yeah.
I can only go based off of what. I would say it's just limited. Like I mean, if you're talking about people I see that look like me, there's not a lot of people I see that look like me.
Yeah.
And I think it's I don't think the gap is because we can do it. I think it's just a matter of getting people engaged, exposure to, because I feel like it's something that, I mean, it's so many people that do it, and it's such a big thing or big industry that it's not impossible to learn how to do that or to go to school or to get certifications to do it. It's just a matter of exposure. And I do think that it's something that we could use more people that look like me.
Most definitely. What would be like an entry? So how much money is it like? So I heard of a accredited investor. I think to be accredited, you need what, 200,000 or more in the market of.
I think, I don't know for sure, but I know that in order to be registered or under like a regulator, you would need to have a certain amount of money under like a certain amount of assets under management. To be able to get that regulation status.
Yeah. Because there's some investments. I know some investors, and you got to be accredited to even get the opportunity. And that's a certain amount of money that you just have to have. Not so much what you need to make a year, but you got to have that money as disposable money that you don't need to live off of.
Yes. So yeah, some people will say like, the minimum to start off is like $5,000, $10,000, but that needs to be money that you put into an account to say, here's what I have. This is what I want to, this is the money I've set aside to invest or, to allocate towards building my wealth or, building long-term, like my retirement. It just depends.
Okay. So I want to pivot a little bit into, so you would be considered a financial professional?
No, I think I would be considered more of like a compliance risk officer or like a risk, risk officer.
Okay.
If I had to say.
So I won't get too much into your personal relationship, but do you find it somewhat complicated? Because I don't know how much money you make, but now you're meeting men who make more likely less if they're blue collar. How's the dating market?
I wish I could say I knew, but I'm not currently dating, so I don't know. But what I do know is from having friends that are in the dating market and people that are close to me that are in the dating market, they find it challenging. I don't think it's necessarily to meet men that make as much as them or that make a lot of money. I think it is challenging to find somebody that has both or that has maybe what they're looking for, like emotional, stability, maturity, all of those things, emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
I think those are kind of the things that the people I know that are dating are looking for. They find that hard to, come across in the dating pool, let alone just the money itself. I mean, I think those are two separate things, but I think a lot of the women would probably want both ideally they would want both. But even if they couldn't have somebody that made exactly more than them, they would definitely want somebody on the same, like equally yoked, at the same emotional level, able to connect, able to like go the highs and the lows and be able to talk and be able to be vulnerable. And I think that's really what's missing. If I had to guess,
the emotional intelligence part.
Yeah.
So you saying you could deal with a guy that makes less than you?
I don't know. Okay. I wouldn't say yes or no. I would say that there's other things that mean more to me than money, but it's important for somebody to have their own stability before trying to date anybody, me or anybody else. I think it's important for you to have your own stability, because I think two people coming together and they both have stability, I think they have more opportunity to build than one person not having anything the other and one person have to carry the weight. I think the weight should be give and take in a balance, not necessarily a 50-50, but a balance.
Right. Okay. So I'm going to ask you this because social media has been pivotal in relationships between modern men and women. How do you believe that's affecting the landscape of dating? Do you feel like it's positive? Do you feel like it's negative, neutral?
I think it's harmful in some ways because I think there's a lot of comparison and I think there's a lot of access. And without social media, you wouldn't have access to that many people at one time.
Right.
And so it creates the image that there's a lot of opportunity. It creates the image that there's a lot to choose from,
right,
when that's not necessarily true. And there's a lot of comparison because I think what people do is they say, well, oh, such and such, well, they bought their person a car, or they, and it's like, this is only a snapshot of what you see in somebody's relationship. And it's harmful because somebody could have somebody good, but you're comparing your relationship to only like a 1 minute snapshot of somebody else's, which is not fair to you. And it's not fair to them either, because why would you compare yourself? Right. And I think it's been more harmful than anything, because before we had social media, we would just have to meet people organically. Yeah. And we wouldn't feel like we had access to somebody's life just on a phone. And we feel like because I think the delusion is you feel like you know somebody because of what they share. Right. And that's not always true. You only know what they choose to share, but not everything about them. And I think that right there creates the idea of there's a lot of accessibility when there really isn't. And that we should go back to trying to meet people more organically than feeling like we know people just because we follow them and because they share different things about their lives, not knowing that they live a whole life outside of the phone.
Do you have social media?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So your post is what type of, if content I was to see your content, mm-hmm. what would I think
for the most part, I post a lot of stuff about style, about fashion. Those are things that I enjoy doing. I like styling people. I like styling myself. Mm-hmm. I like putting together outfits for myself and for other people. But mainly I just enjoy sharing my craft, like putting my outfits together, sharing, where I got something, how I styled it. That's pretty much what my page is.
Okay. What do you feel about, I guess we had it was a controversial thing going on with, I don't want to get too much in politics.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, we stay out of politics. Okay. We stay out of politics. I want to ask you a little bit about submission. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like the vows need to be changed a little bit with this modern world we're in, or?
Yeah, I do. Well, what I think is that at the foundation, it's still a matter of submission, but I also think that we're just not in the same era of what I guess they would call like old school love or old school marriage. Yeah. I feel like in this day, men and women contribute both. Yeah. And women contribute a lot as well. At first, a long time ago, women would stay home because that's what made sense to them. And still to this day, I think women being stay-at-home wives or stay-at-home mothers is conducive to whatever your family dynamic is. And I think that now that there's a lot of women that work and take care of their kids, I don't think it's necessarily a woman's job or a man's job. I think the job is to do what works for your family dynamic.
So no gender roles?
No. I think when it comes to the logistics of your family, like how like when I say like cooking, cleaning, the kids, things like that, I don't think there are any gender roles. I think people do what works best for them, whatever that look, and that can look like a lot of different things. There are stay-at-home husbands. If that works for you, that works for you. But I don't think that we should leave it to, it's a man's job or a woman's job to do those logistical things within a 2-parent family when it comes to like kids and cleaning and cooking, just the day in and day out.
So what about with chivalry?
I think chivalry is dead.
You think it's dead because it shouldn't be?
No, I think the man it's dead. Shouldn't. No. I think it's dead because there is a interesting, I would say, dynamic right now with men that I feel like I don't want to say that they want to be the woman, but I do feel like it's more of like they want a woman to chase them or they want to be catered to. In the reverse aspect of what a woman would want, like they want to receive all of those things. And it's interesting. So
you just said that things need to change a little bit, but you don't think men should change?
Oh no, I do think so.
Okay.
But I'm not a man. So I can
Right. So
only
you're
tell you
not
from
gonna fight for okay.
I can only tell
You're
you
not
from
gonna
a
advocate
perspective.
for if we want to yeah.
Mhm.
And I'm saying, so if it's no gender roles with the things inside the house,
Mhm.
but I still open doors,
Mhm.
I still do all those other things.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna say it's disingenuous, but it is. We have to question the things that benefit the woman
Mhm.
need to stay the same.
Yeah.
And the things that the woman felt like she was kind of getting the short end of the stick on, like working and taking care of the kids, we changed that.
Not necessarily, I don't think so. I think that it comes down to like whatever works for your family. And I feel like these days it really does take two people together working.
Yeah.
I don't think that we have a economy right now or a world right now where a lot of people are afforded to stay home. And I do think that staying home is a harder job because you don't get any time away. You stay on go, on call all the time, whether that's cooking, cleaning, taking care of kids. That doesn't stop. At least when you go to work, there's a separation between home and work. When you go to work, you're working. When you come home to do those things. But somebody that stays home doesn't really have they don't go anywhere. I mean, like they manage the home. So they don't ever unless they go on a vacation or a staycation, they manage the home 24 hours a day, which is harder than going to an office if you think about it, because you don't get the office allows you to reset. It allows you to reset your brain. So you get time away from your kids. You get time away from your responsibilities at home. But stay at home mothers and fathers, they don't get that.
Did you grow up with a 2-parent household?
No, I did not.
Okay. So the vision you have for a life, this is something that, where did you come up with this from? As far as socially with a man, where do you get your ideal from?
Probably from some of the people in my family that's been married a long time, from knowing people that have been married a long time, from over the years, just listening to people's story, listening to people share wisdom about marriage, about families, and just being in the world. I think it's changed. Like I've only lived as a millennial, but from the time, that I knew about family dynamics and marriage and things like that, it has definitely changed. So I think a lot of the ideas that at least I had growing up is different when you are grown now and you're living in the world and you see how the world is changing. Like it was never my idea to be a stay-at-home mother, but I do respect stay-at-home mothers. And I think it's a wonderful thing if you're able to stay home with your child. But I do need a separation. And I do like going to work and I do like making my own money. So it's not something for me, but I do have a lot of respect for people that do that because it's a hard job.
So you wouldn't want to be kept?
No, I want to be kept, but I don't think that I wouldn't say that being a stay-at-home mom is being kept. I think that being a stay-at-home mom is more so aligned with your family dynamic. I think being a kept woman, because a stay-at-home mom can be a kept woman, and somebody that works can be a kept woman too. I don't think that there's a difference. I think that people do whatever works best. Like if you think about it, for somebody that has more than one kid, it would make sense to stay home because by the time you pay for daycare, you're paying for a mortgage for 3 kids. Do you get what I mean? So it would make sense that you stay at home. But for somebody that may only have one kid, it may not make sense. But if that's what you want to do, you can. But again, I think it's just about whatever works. But a lot of kept women do the keeping of themselves. It's not somebody else doing it. I think that's another thing too, is that when you're a kept woman, part of it is you keep up yourself. Somebody adds to that, but part of being a kept woman in the beginning is keeping up your own maintenance. And whatever kept looks like. Kept can look like a lot of different things in different ways, whether it's like keeping your nails done, your hair done, going to therapy. It could be anything.
Speaking of therapy, have you been to therapy?
I have.
Personal therapy or marriage therapy?
Personal
or both?
therapy.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So personal therapy you've been to.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like you got a benefit out of it?
Yeah, I do. But
Because I did it, and I really don't feel like.
So I think the thing about therapy is what people don't realize is that, at least from my perspective, is that therapy requires you to do the work.
Yeah.
So going to sit with someone every week may work for some people, but there's a point in time where the talking has to turn into action. And a lot of the work that you do outside of therapy is where you get the benefit.
Right.
It's not actually sitting, because a therapist only helps you get to the identification of the core of like what's going on, why this is happening, where, you may can get some insights about yourself and your background and how you got to this point. But you are the one that have to like kind of transmute, kind of change all of that outside of therapy. But I think sometimes people rely on therapy for the change, and they don't realize that there has to be work that goes outside of just going to talk to somebody. They can only help you with the identification of it. You really have to sit with yourself and figure out, okay, so now that I know that because of my upbringing, this is the type of attachment style I have, or this is, the type of habits I formed. How am I going to change that? Yeah. A therapist can't really help you do that. That's something you do outside of therapy.
Yeah, you got to do that work.
Yeah.
I guess so. You said you didn't come from a 2-parent household. Mm-mm. Do you feel like you grew up with a lot of trauma?
I would say that I don't necessarily feel like I grew up with a lot of trauma. What I realize is that my upbringing, I had a good upbringing, let me just say that. But I also feel like some of the things that went on in the background helped me realize like certain things about myself, whether it's like people pleasing, or whether it's anxious attachment, or whether it's, I'm trying to think of some other things, but those kind of things help me kind of identify things within myself that I'm like, oh, well, it would make sense why, you feel like this, because of some of the things that I went through. Not necessarily some of the things I went through as a child, but just some of the experiences I had, because I feel like when you say went through, it can seem like a bad thing. Yeah. But sometimes it's not going through something bad. It's just a part of your upbringing and a part of your experience. Right. That, you develop these things. And so, yeah, that's what I would say.
So one thing that I know that the audience won't know, they know now, that you're a twin.
Yeah, I am. I do have a twin sister.
So how is the dynamic of having a twin? Do you feel like you have your own, did you have to establish your own identity? Did y'all dress alike?
Yes. So I would say we dressed alike up until we graduated high school. Even when we graduated high school, we dressed alike on graduation day. And what I can say is that the dynamic is quite hard to explain, because you feel like you have somebody that is your sibling, but kind of like your soulmate in a way. It's hard to describe. And I don't mean that in a weird way. I mean that in a way like you kind of have somebody living with you, alongside of you. Like, you know how like you could have a sibling, right? But because y'all are different ages,
yeah.
Even if y'all are a year apart, y'all are still different ages.
Right.
But when you have a twin, it's almost kind of like having somebody, like a half of you outside of your body, that's kind of like doing life at the same time. Even though your life experiences are different, it's kind of hard to describe. I wish I knew the words, but it's quite an interesting thing to have a twin, because it just is. It feels like somebody that, I don't know, that knows you, you know them, and y'all are kind of in the same body, but not in the same body. It's really, I wish I had the words.
Are y'all alike, personality wise?
No, we're not alike. No, we're not alike. I would say that my twin sister is more social. She's more outgoing. She is more blunt, not in a bad way. She's just more direct. Mm-hmm. And I think I'm the opposite of that. I think we honestly balance out each other. And I think there are things that she does well that I don't do. And the same thing for me, things that I do well that she doesn't do. And I think the balance helps us get along more because it just does. It creates like a good yin yang.
And by y'all, do you know your father?
Mm-mm.
Okay, you don't know your father. Mm-mm. So were y'all ever separated at any time?
Me and my sister?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I mean, we even like, I don't know if you know anything about twins, but when twins are younger, especially like 3, 4, they usually sleep together. And if they don't sleep together, they sleep on top of each other. And that seems a little weird. But me and my sister, when we were younger, especially like even in high school, I remember if it rained, we would sleep in the same bed. It didn't matter how big the bed was. We was going to sleep in the same bed. When we were little, we would sleep on top of each other, like directly on top. I mean, I'm telling like
bunk bed?
No. Like on the floor. Like I would be here, she would just sleep on top of me, like with no, like, yeah, we would sleep on top of each other. It's just, I don't know if that happens with other twins, but it's kind of like a dynamic where you're always together. Yes.
Y'all not identical?
No, we're not. We're fraternal.
Who's the oldest?
I'm the oldest, but I feel like she acts like the oldest.
She acts like the oldest. Mm-hmm. So how is it when you dating? And do y'all run stuff past? Well, that's just how girls do anyway, right? I
feel like, yeah. If I'm not dating, but if I was, it depends. I feel like in my opinion, my sister is not really a forgiving person. So there's some things I don't share with her out of the fact that I don't want to taint somebody's character because she won't like a person twice.
Yeah.
Whether that's a friend, a family, I mean, not family, but friend, a relationship, any of that. She doesn't really go back and like them again.
So you can forgive them and she'll still hold a grudge.
Yeah. Possibly. But I think that's a lot of people. I think a lot of people, when they care about you, they care about how you feel. They care about how people make you feel. And I feel like one of the things to me about having, I guess, a sacred relationship is about learning what to share and what not to share.
Right.
You know? And what I can say is that sometimes I won't, and not just her, sometimes I won't share stuff about anybody else's experiences because I don't want to taint somebody's character. Not to say that it's not true for me and my experience is not what I experienced, but to say that it doesn't require me to share.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Okay. So I would say that you're a successful woman. As far as your career.
I would say so. I have a lot. I mean, I feel like there's a lot I want to do, but I feel like I've gotten to a good place right now.
Is it? I don't even want to talk about dating. Let's get off of dating.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get off dating. I'm gonna get off dating. I'm gonna get off of that, and I'm gonna go a little bit to. Do you have any children?
I have one child.
One child. How is it? You got a boy or girl?
A boy.
How is it raising a boy in this day and age?
I think that right now raising a boy is the perfect opportunity for a lot of women, and especially women in general, but for a lot of Black women to help create a new generation of Black men that are emotionally aware, men that are vulnerable, men that have emotional maturity. I think right now, as a Black mom, we have the greatest opportunity right now to change that. And I think it's a good thing because I think a long time ago, we weren't able to kind of identify, all of these things, like what is the issue, what is missing, what is causing the generational after generation of Black men or men in general not to show up or not to be present. And I feel like we've had the conversation. We know now what the issue is. And I can't say that it's just a man thing because men have to be born from a woman.
Right.
So it's a shared responsibility in some aspects, a shared responsibility. And as you raise your child, but once they get grown, it's their responsibility. You can't help how you are raised. You don't get that choice when you're a kid, but you do get the choice when you get grown to figure out how you're going to fix those things and how you're going to navigate life so that you can become your best self, you know?
Okay. So give me just an example of something you're doing to change the future of men.
So some of the things I do as a parent is I usually ask my child like how he's feeling, how his day was. We talk about things when he tells me something or he has emotions. I don't try to rush him through his emotions, and I don't try to tell him don't cry or don't be mad, because these are our feelings that are meant to come and they're meant to go. And part of it is I want you to be able to identify how you feel. And I want you to be able to identify why you feel like that. And I want you to be able to move through those things. And so I think when they say, oh, well, boys don't cry, that's not true. And that should not be something that you're saying to your kid. And also I apologize to him, because as a human, there are sometimes where I lose my patience. There's sometimes I yell. There's sometimes where I'm frustrated and I haven't had I haven't given the most grace as much as I could. And in those moments, I do apologize and I say, I'm sorry, I'm not having a good day, or I'm sorry rushed you through this, or I didn't, let you say what you needed to say, or I wasn't present, or you didn't feel like I was giving you the time and attention you need. Because I think it's important to apologize to your kid, because that lets them know that you're a human too. We're both living this experience together. This isn't something like, oh, I'm just a dictator. It's more like, well, you're helping me unlearn some of the things of me growing up, and I'm relearning how to parent myself and parent my child, because that's kind of what you're doing. You're unlearning and you're relearning through your child how to parent, because you don't come in this world knowing how to parent a child. It's really kind of like, you kind of learn as you go.
Do you feel like your parents parented you, whoever was taking care of you? Did they ask you how your day was?
I think sometimes.
I guess my point is, do you have like avatar of a person who's gotten those things and been better off? Or are you just saying it's bad now, it's got to be at least a little bit better if we do it this way?
The latter. I think that, as a parent, I try to come from the mindset of I want to be able to give time and opportunity for my son to be able to tell me and to be able to express how he feels, and to allow him to be a human. Because I think what a lot of times we think kids should just be robots, like, oh, don't cry, or oh, hurry up, or oh, and it's just like they have bad days too. It's possible. I mean, we wake up on the wrong side of the bed. It's possible that they wake up on the wrong side. They just are not having a good day.
Yeah.
And we have to allow that space and the grace to do that. We can't just say, oh, that they should just be the same all the time, or they shouldn't have any issues, or they shouldn't wake up on the wrong side of the bed. They're living a life. And even though they don't have responsibilities, it's possible that it's just not their day.
Yeah. Because I heard you on the phone earlier, and your son, he something happened. And, so I think it's a fine line. It's like a threshold where you can make a baby, make a young man weak by because it's like, you ever seen a kid running, they fall, and if you don't say nothing, they just get back up and keep moving. But if you, oh, come here, they bust out crying. So from a man's perspective, especially your son being 11, from what I heard, because I think this was a situation where he was dribbling the ball.
He was trying to cross over the ball from the back, and I think when his foot went, but I think his ankle either gave out or he tripped somehow and fell trying to do some basketball move. I don't know.
Yeah. And he walked up to you.
No, he didn't walk. He was still on the ground. That's why I was like, first of all, can you get up? Because he was like in a kneel position, kind of like trying to gain his footing to get up on the foot. I don't know which foot it was, and I don't know which ankle it was. But I was kind of like, is everything okay? Because he's not a type of person that's going to stay down on the ground. So I was like, are you okay? Because
it was dramatic because you were on FaceTime.
Yes.
And I was like, I thought maybe he had really got hurt.
He was still on the ground. Because when I looked, by the time I got out there, he hadn't even got up. That's why I'm like,
okay,
what are you doing? What's going on? Why can't you get up? Like, what happened? And he was trying to get up, but his ankle was hurting.
Or was it that he know mom's gonna give him that whole experience?
Well, the thing is my son is kind of tough. So like when something happens and he can't get up or something really, he feels like it really hurt, it really is. I don't know if I would say serious, but it really is something painful because he doesn't really.
Okay.
He has a high tolerance for pain. Like he broke his pinky toe before.
Oh wow.
And I really, I was like, come on, like it can't be that bad. But it was really that
pinky
bad.
Toe,
I thought, well, he kept saying he had pain. I didn't know he broke it until we went to the doctor. But again, you know, like he kept saying he's having a lot of pain, and he usually doesn't. He's a tough kid.
What would his dad have said about him laying on that ground? If you weren't there, what would he have done?
I would think he would have said, "You okay?" And he would say, "Get up, get up."
Yeah. You think you'd have been as dramatic?
My kid is dramatic, so I feel like it was, but it would have been.
No, I said, do you feel like his dad would have been dramatic?
No. Okay. I just think it's a different. Men and women, we kind of.
Yeah, you parent a little different.
Yeah.
Boys kind of need. I'm speaking on myself. My grandmother babied me. And when I say baby me, I'm not talking about me falling down on the ground. But if I had life issues, she would, if I told her about them, she would fix them.
I think that's how mothers feel. I think, yeah.
But I'm gonna say, I remember when I had to say to myself, because she was getting older, and I said, she's not gonna be here all the time. You have to do these things on your own. Yes. So I remember saying to myself, you have to manufacture a situation where she's not there in your mind. And I did this literally. And then sometimes when it got too tough, I go to her. But she would fix all my problems. And I knew one day she wouldn't be there. So I had to do that. And that helped me. If I hadn't have done that, I'd have just be, because most of the time we go through this thing, especially with Black kids. We don't get a lot of chances to make mistakes. So if we get 5,000, let's say it's inherited, God forbid, you can't mess that 5,000 up. You don't know how many times you're going to get a lump sum of money. Right. A lot of other nationalities, they do $5,000. Like they'll blow that. That's why they tend to be better when they get of age with handling money. True. Because they've messed off so much money. And we don't get that luxury. So I had to manufacture a situation where I had to look at it that way. Do you get any resistance from his dad about your parenting? Or he just let you be mom?
I think sometimes it's a little too, sometimes he say, well, it can be a little soft. Or like, kind of like, you take up for him all the time.
Yeah.
And I try to be more constructive with my, it's not that I'm taking up for him, but there's certain things that I know about my child that if somebody said something like he did something, you couldn't make me believe that. Now, there are certain things that I will believe about my child. Like if a teacher said he was talking, I believe he was talking. But if you said he cussed a kid out, my kid ain't gonna cuss nobody out.